Again, welcome back to the Shed of Basketball Truth. Now, just going to throw in quickly, we've had a couple of technical difficulties with episode 189. Nothing all that bad. It's just a mic line, which we have been able to fix by the time we got to the Crackem segment. But ahead of that time, it just sounds like I'm a little bit further away from the mic. But since it is a big episode, and the delightful people in front of us at the official beer company have come on board, please drink responsibly, the official beer company of not just the podcast, but of course, basketball, and let's face it, everything good get around the official beer company. They've come on board to sponsor the show. It's still a great show. Just sounds like I'm a little bit further away than normal, but we've got it all sorted now, and it is sorted for the local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem segment at the end of the show. And of course, next time when we're up to episode 190, we'll be back to our regular high quality audio, But until then, please do enjoy episode 189. G'day, welcome back to the Shed of Basketball Truth. It is Studio 3 for Ball Don't Lie Australia. And as promised, bit of a big announcement. Mac is back.
Hey, I'm sure that's not the big announcement, but yes, I'm back, baby.
Clues as to what the big announcement might be, but I'm sure we'll get to that. I'm sure we'll get to it, right? All right, mate. Yes, you're right. That's not the big announcement. The big announcement is official beer companies come on board as the official beer of not just Australian basketball, but the official beer of basketball. It is official. I don't think I could say official any more times. I'm officially out. But there we go. The official beer company is on board. Welcome. There's a couple of their beverages up and around. Make sure, of course, you drink responsibly and only for over 18. It's part of our audience. But, mate, big day. Big day.
Oh, good, mate. All that hard work, and you've finally got a beverage company that you can clench your teeth with at the end of these things. So
it is indeed. Awesome. And, of course, official beer company brews all their beer down on the Gold Coast, right near your place. So I'm sure we can get some delivered and get some official taste testing underway for us, eh?
Oh, happy to do some some testing for them. Let them know. That'd be lovely.
I'm sure it'll be 7 thumbs up.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's look at our show ahead. We've got a little bit of NBL1 talk, a little bit of across the Dutch talk for about Sal's NBL or NZ NBL. A little bit of NBL stuff. Another new buy-in at the Bullets. Feels like there's one every other season. And of course, a little bit of a chat, some NBL predictions, and we can't do this show without doing a round of the local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem. And mate, you had some choices today. We had some NBL Tops 2023-24. We had some Panini Prisms 2023 WNBA box here, all of course from local card shop. But you've gone with the 2022-2023 Chronicles NBA. We'll crack the box later, get a pack out, and get a bit of local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem under our belt, mate.
Yeah, I'm absolutely packing it over this one because last time I think I lost to Elliot on one of the dubious. My phone ran out of batteries on the last card, so
there was nothing dubious about
I've been stressing ever since, so I need to get a win on the board.
I'm sure you may. You might feel the pressure, and you definitely do need a win on the board. Let's be honest. It's that time. It's that time. Good news is, I reached out to the Crackem King, and the good news for you, mate, is he's crook. He's home in bed. We wish him a speedy recovery. But
I thought you were going to say he's going to give me some.
It's just you and an empty chair. You're all good.
I thought you were going to say he's going to give me some lessons or something. So I'll take it.
You can only do so much with that time. If you thought this was a safe place, come on. Let's jump in. Up here in the NBL1 North, there's been a few coaching signings here, there, but the first real player signing that's come through from Sunshine Coast Phoenix, picking up Erin Bollmann, the Defensive Player of the Year ×2, down here, up here in the North, North, signed a 2-year deal with the Phoenix. And look, let's be honest, their women's team definitely needs some improvement from last year. They took home the spoon, but a signing like this really shows intent. I really liked. While the women's side of things, wasn't wildly successful last season on the scoreboard, I was able to go to an actual Phoenix game. They have a real buzz. There's a genuine excitement in their building. They put on a good show. I've really liked what Sean Page has done there since coming back to Australia and taking on the top job over there at Phoenix. And look, things feel like they're on the build, and especially if they can keep Carly Alistair. Look, that's a real solid pairing if they get them improved, potentially having fun.
Yeah, that was, mate, just pretty much you've read off my my notes sheet here. I got here picking up Erin Bollmann just gives them defense plus, a great role model. She's a 2010 player, and then down the bottom I've got pairing that with Carly from their standout last year, who was a 16.12 rebound a night player. Like, that's going to be a phenomenal duo if that comes to fruition. So that's a great building block for that team. And they've got some young players. That's one thing we noticed in the commentary when they had that game against the Caps women's team during the season last year, is that it was a very young Phoenix Sunshine team. So Sunshine Coast Phoenix team, sorry. And so with young players coming through with a couple of absolute fantastic players to role model around, can only do good things.
Yeah. Obviously, tough season for them last year on the scoreboard. There were some tricky games, 3 of which were against Erin Bollmann's Wizards, where things just got uncomfortable. 7 points in the second game of last year's season. So I'm sure there's going to have feelings and all that stuff's put aside. But I think that, of course, will be a huge piece for them, huge piece for any team. The Phoenix have had the first major signing on the women's side of the draw. And look, let's see where they go. If they keep adding some more pieces from around the league and start to chase this thing a little bit. Hasn't totally been their MO over the last couple of seasons. It's been 1, maybe 2 almost sort of big or major signings. But we'll just have to see how we go. I also like the fact it's a 2-year deal. That's really shows interest from both parties to stick around. But
yeah, I think some of those clubs, mate, they often, if they get one big signing, more signings do come. So, like you said, it'd be interesting to see. They might pick up some other players going, look, if Erin Bollmann's going to be there, I want to play with her. So I'll take my services to the Sunshine Coast Phoenix, for a year or two. So yeah, you're right. Might bring other players in with her.
Indeed. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's pop over to the Sales NBL or NZNBL. Their free agency has opened Monday. Now, of course, the men's NZNBL runs at the same time. Basically overlaps pretty aggressively with the NBL1 seasons, which of course isn't a problem for the women's side of the draw, but is for the men's. And last year there was a few interesting signings and different things that happened. No major effect for the NBL1 as yet. But, of course, last year Spartans had Tyrell Harrison, who popped over for a cup of coffee. Absolutely dominated for about 4 games and then came back. Of course, she had Mitch McCarron, who was, of course, up here with the Wizards for a couple of seasons, popped over and played for the Bearcats and then over in Taranaki. But it'll be interesting to see if there is a bit of a scout, maybe, a major signing that's pulled over from the NBL and disrupts the NBL1 North or NBL, any of the other conferences, or they nab a player or two to try and shake things up. Of course, they do have that extra Indian Panthers team. We'll have to see how they go.
Yeah, and look, I think, I'm probably biased because we get to obviously commentate the games that we do for the Brisbane Capitals or their home games, but it feels like the NBL1 North is just so overloaded with talent that I can definitely, if I'm, New Zealand NBL season, I'm looking for players, that's a good place to go and shop. So, I'm sure they look at all across all the leagues, but I won't be surprised if there will be more players from the North going over there, because if you're looking for a lovely spot to play basketball and have a bit of fun and try your skills against some internationals and the best New Zealand has to offer, why wouldn't you go over there for a season or two and play some good high level basketball? So I think you're probably right. We might see some players going over for sure.
Well, we have more NBL players in the NBL1 North than any other division. So just goes to show how stacked the men's side of things has been up here in the North. Of course, we've known that. We've been watching it for a while and we've had the joy of commentating it. But, eyes definitely will be on some of the tape that's going around about it. And that's one of the great things about the NBL1 and of course, Sales NBL and NZNBL is that these games are, there's really good footage. Scouting is a lot easier. Things are made simple for some of these teams across the dish or from anywhere around the world. They can get a lot of footage on players. Some of the commentary will be muted, I'm sure, sadly. But realistically, it does a great job and it gives a fantastic opportunity to some of these players. It's not like the old days where you desperately need someone in the building. Need to go and find these players. They're on a platter. Who's going to pick them up? We'll have to wait and see. All right. Brisbane Bullets have now stretched their ownership just a little bit further, ownership group. But in my research today, mate, I believe they're evaluated at $43 million, the Brisbane Bullets.
Really?
So, big number. And as it stretches and that number gets bigger, more and more people are interested. That's every now and again we seem to have someone else or another group come in and buy a stake. But look, the Iceman is one of the few, of course, as part of this group getting involved. And look, it could be interesting. We may not necessarily see a whole shake-up because the key group that has the majority stake is going to still be in control after this deal is done. So may not see a huge difference, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, on the I saw the broadcast come across the NBL Facebook feed, and yeah, it said George Gervin, had come on board, and I think Chris Middleton's a part of the ownership group as well. So ex NBA players, current NBA players. Yeah, it's very interesting dynamics because having people with an interest from other leagues just it feels like it makes it more, tangible between players coming to and from. And I think that's a good thing for the league as well, because we see guys like Montrezl Harrell come in after a knee injury, can't get a start in the NBA, and look what he's doing for Adelaide. Like, it's phenomenal and so fun to watch. And then we got our NBL Next stars going across and, getting picked up in the draft. Like Alex Sarr last year was second, right? Or third. And, just high draft picks, Mellow Ball, all those guys. I think it's keep opening up those pathways, and by getting those ownership groups that can help facilitate that, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Mr. Simmons buying in at the moment. Maybe hold on to your money, Tiger. Put together a solid season or two, get another big contract, and then have it done. Then have it done over here.
Yeah.
But he is playing well.
We've got some work to do.
He is playing well. We're in that part of the life cycle where he's playing genuinely well and people have questions. Hopefully we can talk about it towards the end of the season. And be like, well, he's doing it. He's doing it. I want to be able to do it. But
yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. But it does help these players make those pathways. Sadly, there is going to be a little bit of a restructure in the NBA Academy. They seem to be shuttling a few things around the world to really focus on NBA Africa. They're doing in that space with the Academy. What's it going to be? Exactly what the restructure of that is look like. But you've also got players like excuse me, Mr. Giddy.
Doc Giddy. Yeah.
You haven't been through that pathway, but have still made it to the games. It's interesting. It's another way of exposing kids, but has it been wildly successful? Probably not. That's why there is reshuffling it. But it is one less thing, which is sad at the moment to hear until we get proper information around what the restructure is going to look like, and if it's going to be a better system.
Yeah, they read they were going to centralise it, so for like Australia and a few other of the other areas where they have the NBA pathway programs, they were just going to put like a central hub. Where that's based, unknown, but at least one will still be available to sort of access, I guess. If you're Australian, it might be a bit more difficult now, but hopefully it's still, there's a pathway that people can get into, and see we get more talent going through there.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. NBL. Phoenix. Now, you coach. Last game they played, literally shut down. Like just shut it down. They had an opportunity to foul. Not so great with free throw shooter. The hands of a rather good one. Like, okay, I'm going to literally shut it down there and went with a very long view of the season. And I like the long view of the season. But as a fan, I was like, oh, okay, that game's done.
Yeah.
normally the last 30 seconds, 5 points. This thing's going to stretch out. Like I've got a wee break, 3 drinks breaks, and it's not quite the NBA, the NBL at the moment, but it's kind of getting there. And then boom, all of a sudden, game's done. We're shaking hands. We're out the door. Okay. What was your take?
It was interesting. When you said to me, this is one of the things we'll have a chat about on the show, I kind of went, oh, and then I went back and I watched the last 2 minutes of the game. And I remember, because I watched the game fully, and I was like, I remember the commentators going, oh, why are they not fouling? Like, they could foul here, but they didn't. And then, but after the game, I was kind of, I didn't hold on to it much because I didn't think it was a big factor. And then I went and rewatched it, and it just sort of confirmed me how I felt after the game anyway. Even if they did foul, it didn't really feel like Phoenix were going to, get any closer anyway. Their last 3 possessions, Glover shot a 3, missed. Foxwell shot a 3, missed. The only points they got was Vandanovic on a putback, which got it from 7 to 5. And the second last possession, they got a turnover. They forced Jalen Adams into the backcourt on a press. So then when the next possession, when Vandanovic got that putback too, Sydney's bringing it up, and they're in a full court press. So they're going for the steal. They're not going for the foul. And usually then, like you see them foul once they get out the press. But I think they got into the backcourt and just went, all right, now there's only 12 seconds left after the press is broken down, and they've broken it. So, are we going to foul? And there was a little look across, and I don't think there was much clear communication coming from the sideline to say, hey, we're going to foul or we're not. So they just went, oh, well, this thing's over with. It doesn't really bother me. I thought about it, like you said, later and thought, oh, maybe they're just worried about for and against. They foul them, they're just going to, get a few extra points on us. And, Phoenix, unfortunately, that last 5 minutes couldn't hit the broad side of a barn. So it was only probably going up from there.
I know you have a strong farming background. Which is the broad side of the barn?
I'm from grassroots, Woolloongabba, New South Wales, mate. Cane farm factories around there. So, I think it's the big side, the broad side, the wider side.
It's one of those things. Obviously, Coach came out in the presser afterwards. He's like, we weren't going to win. For and against, all that kind of stuff's going to mean something. I thought at the moment that was very much one of those kind of answers. Like, if that's 100% accurate, exactly what your team were thinking, that's a lot of confidence to have brand new position being brought in to replace someone who's been replaced mid-season. So that is a lot of confidence to have. Also, there are coaches out there who are vehement of the idea of when does it ever work? It never works, this foul stuff. We had opportunities. We missed. We need to give them, we need to foul, give them easy shots in the boat that we and that's, kind of been their mentality. The big takeaway from me, I thought, was definitely the press conference afterwards. We had this really long view. I was like, okay, considering the situation you walked into, I like it. I'm impressed by it. But is it going to be accurate in that sense of, does he have a long time? Like, the NBL's a tricky beast. We've seen quite a few coaches get the hook over the journey. Now, I'm not expecting to play this season crazy like that.
They're calling it early.
Or suggesting it. But it's like, wow, okay, that's a long view for someone who's just arrived. That's cool.
It's obviously his philosophy, and some coaches, they have a strict philosophy they work by, and there's no flexibility or not flexibility, but they will go, that's the shield they'll be taken out on, to a point, and that's the way they're going to play, which is, I'm with you. Hey, stand by it. Let's see it. Do it every, if you're going to, if you think the game's out of reach and you're thinking for and against, then we'll probably see it come up again at some point in the season. But you're right. There are other coaches that they just play each game on its merits, and play to the last second. You know, we can hit 2 threes, get a steal. They can miss some free throws. Like 12 seconds, you can drag out 2 minutes, 4 minutes. Like it's, but I felt in the moment just watching it, I didn't feel shocked by it because it never felt like the Phoenix were going to shift the pencil any closer. Like it didn't feel like they were getting any closer than that. But so that's how I felt at the time. Yeah.
I like shift the pencil. I've heard shift the pendulum. Never heard shift the pencil. That's good.
I'm thinking about the old score sheet, you know, just you got to put a cross through it and then write the number of the score. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. We didn't have pens in the very rural area where you grew up.
I didn't get a pen license.
Like the Russian space program. I need pens. They're fancy, expensive. Just use a pencil. Oh. Looking ahead. Top 4 at the moment. We have, and of course this is likely to change after every round, but top 4 we've got United, Breakers in second with 6-3, Illawarra in 6-4 after 2-game slide, and 36ers in fourth, Kings, Perth, Phoenix, Brisbane, Tassie, Cairns. But the real question here is, Mac, give me 3 teams. 3 teams that you like feel they're going to be they're going to be there at the real pointy end at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's like it's an absolute lottery, and you know I like to give you my
NBL,
hot takes, Matt.
No way.
Yeah. But like, if you asked me before last weekend, you know, the guaranteed team I would have gone with would be Melbourne, but now Jack White's injured. Like, how bad's that calf injury? Is he going to be out for a stretch, or like they got that 10-game break coming up? So is that going to be enough to get him right? But I settled on the 3 teams that I think will be there. I think Melbourne's got the depth; they'll get through the period without Jack White, and then he comes back and makes a huge difference. So I've got them definitely there. I've got Adelaide definitely there. Just the fact that now they're holding on to Montrezl Harrell. Haven't seen the best of Isaac Humphries. Their point guard, I've forgotten his name, playing really well.
DJ.
Yep. And they seem to, after a rough start, bringing in Montrezl Harrell, the whole vibe around has changed. So I've got them, I reckon they can go fairly deep. So I've got them as a top 3. And then it was hard to
go of DJ throughout from the previous round. He dribbled into traffic and was like, "Oh, Montrez is over there. He can go and get this." Just lobs it up.
Yeah.
Just Montrez drops a hammer. It's like, oh, that must be nice. That must be nice to have as a point guard.
Yeah. And a guy's going to get 20 and 15, 25 and 12 we had the other day, 20 and 10. Like, he's just a rebounding machine. He's easy points in the key. Well, not easy, but he makes it look easy. So yeah, I think Melbourne, Adelaide, and then it's really hard from there on out. You're really just sort of going to pick with what could work out, but teams might run out of gas or they might get some injuries. Injuries play a really critical factor, but I've got Illawarra as the other team, just purely on the fact of what they did last year. They had a very nice start to the year, coming into a bit of a lull at the moment, but it will really depend on Darius Day. He's, I don't want to say underwhelming, but he hasn't hit the groove and the that they thought, the scoring punch that they were going to get from him night in, night out. But you see glimpses of it. So I think if he starts ticking over, it just makes that team gives them a completely different look. They've got so many good versatile pieces that would be the 3 that I would settle on. And then the final position, like if you're looking at the 4th, then it's wide open. Sydney, Phoenix put on a run, Perth, get Bryce Cotton back, and they're still winning without him, playing well, but they get him back and Pinder. gets that consistency he had going end of last year, anyone could take that final spot. But I'd go with those original three I said.
Those three. Look, I like United. I really like the tournament. Obviously, it didn't start this season from last season, just in case coming over it. I like what they're trying to do. That's been good. I also like Perth. I know, Cott's going through his issues, and the Kings, I can't help but feel at some point they need addition by subtraction. Like, they've got a lot. They got a lot of talent. It's not, and it shows. They are 7-5. They've dropped 5 games this season. They look a bit different from game to game. It's really matchup dependent with who they're going with and different things. They've got so much talent on the bench. Just can't help but think if they were to make one change, their week-to-week consistency would just look so much better. Look, I definitely agree with United. I like the Hawks, and I didn't want to like 36's move. Just something about it. I didn't want to like it. I didn't want to. And then he arrived and was like, yeah, it's hard to argue, and it brings energy, and it's something. And then he's staying, and he's still playing well, and everyone else is doing enough stuff around it. It's like, I don't want to like that.
You know what won me over? You know what won me over? There's a clip. I think it was Jason Kadee. It must have been. It was a big number game for him. 300, 400, whatever it was. Yep. Yeah, and Montrezl Harrell got him a gift, and it was like a pair of shoes and some like Nurofen or something like that. Like that was. After I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this guy's a legend. Let's keep him."
And I loved how it all came in such a beautiful gift bag. And it was one of those crazy Clark style, but one of those bags that everyone had as a kid. It was full of, everyone had it in their cupboard. It was full of everyone's houses was different. Some would have old sheets and different things in it, clothes you'd never wear again. One of those stripy bags from Crazy Clarks or whatever. It's like, that's the bag that was in. It's like, even that's just perfect. Now, all right. Well, speaking of United, it's hard not to go past a certain Bubbles Goulding. Christopher, I've been flopping all season, but now I'm on fire. Goulding absolutely went off over the weekend.
Yeah, man. What? I was watching it live, and when Jack White went down, I was like, "Oh, this thing could be over soon." And they were down 14 in the third quarter. Sorry, I think maybe even down 16, but it was 14 at the start of the third, and then he just got white hot. As only I'm trying to think of players that could do that in the NBL that I've seen do that. And really, I mean, there's Chris Goulding, who's probably done it a few times. And then you're probably talking like Gaze and Shane Heal, that hot from that deep. And just, and he probably did better getting to the basket than they did. So it was a crazy performance. And I saw some stat, since they've gone to the 10-minute quarters, he's got 2 out of the top at 10, I think, scores or something on that. He's got a 46 and a 42 or something. And there's Bryce Cotton in there as well. But he just got so hot. And, he was letting them fly by the end. And so there was a few, tack them onto the miss. But when you get that hot, just give him the ball. You can't really knock him for getting a few extra ones or heat checks in there. because half of them were just outrageous shots to be taking anyway. So yeah, that was cool.
He's that almost Curry-esque in that sense. Sometimes you look at a shot and go, "Oh, that is not winning." Okay. Yeah. It's one of those things where a mate just erases so much, and he steps into so many. Oh, I don't like. Oh no, winning. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, yeah. He's just so good. When he has games like this, it's like, okay, obviously, these are rare performances by anyone, but you see these kind of performances like, okay, more of this, less floppy, more of this, please, more of this. But sometimes with Chris, we'll have a few dry games. It's like, oh, yeah, and then he has one of these. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. You're an absolute baller. You're a flat out machine.
Yeah.
And it just goes to prove he's still got it in there.
Yeah, he's a scorer, and that's not part of his game has not deteriorated at all. When he gets hot, he's going to make a hell of a lot of buckets. It's interesting. You look at his how many threes he took. He took 21 attempts, and you go, oh, geez, 21. Bloody hell, he's getting them up. But then you look, he hit 9 of them. That's pretty good clip. I think you take that. I'd take that. I'd take that any day of the weekend twice on Sundays.
Exactly. So, look, old man still got it. Absolutely caught fire. Great to see. But all right, let's look ahead to the round we've got. Let's get some predictions in, mate. We've got. Look, it's towards the bottom of the table matchup here. We've got the Jack Jumpers, and they are hosting the Brisbane Bullets. Very quickly, who you got in this one?
Tassie at home. That's a bit of a fortress down there. Tough to win at. Good game for Jordan Crawford and that last game where they won, which I'm thinking last week. I think Tassie gets at home against the Bullets. I'll go Tassie.
Tassie? Yeah, look, I'm going to have to go something similar. It's Jackie's at home. My State Bank Arena is exactly what you say. It's a fortress. Bullets aren't in amazing form right now. And it's a tricky road trip. And, I think the Jackies are going to take this one. Wildcats hosting the Phoenix. Who you got, big fella?
Perth at home. They're really up and down. But they've even that game against Melbourne, they, quarter by quarter is very different. They'll score 28 points one quarter, 12 in the next quarter. So they're just looking for some consistency, but they've got a strong enough team at home still without Bryce Cotton. They can win that, so I'm taking Perth.
All right. Now, Saturday, Cairns Taipans hosting the Breakers. I'm going to say something crazy here, and give me the Taipans. It's a tricky road trip. Very different weather in Cairns, very different feel to what the Breakers are going to be experiencing currently back in NZ. So, look, give me Cairns. And if they have health, they're a real smack in the mouth team. They can really put it on.
Karen Armstrong back as well. That's
And they look different with him, obviously. So
he's very good.
Yeah, give me that flyer. Here you go.
I got New Zealand, mate. Just they got the MVP I called at the start of the season, Parker Jackson Cartwright. So I'm going with New Zealand.
All right, going with the man with no first name. Okay. All right, now we're moving to Illawarra, who are hosting in the freeway challenge. And every time I hear that, I'm like, it's a horrible freeway. It stops. It turns into one lane halfway there. It's awful. But they're hosting the Kings. Who you got in this one, mate? Kings or Hawks?
King's my team, but I've gone with the Hawks, and I've got in brackets here, unfortunately, just because I think the Illawarra just they feel like they're too consistent at the moment, and the Sydney Kings are just up and down. They could definitely shock, come out and give their best performance. But lately, the Kings have been relying on just some quiet noise has saved him in about 2 or 3 games just by going off. And if he didn't do that, they'd be another 3 games in the hole. So I'm going with the stats and going Illawarra.
TJ brings the show and DJ visiting. This one always does. Look, I'm going to swerve. I'm going to go to the Kings. For no other reason to just, it would be amazing if your team tip won when I tipped them. For no other reason. I think, they've got some talent issues that haven't quite worked out, and Hawks are looking good. I'm going to pick them for in-studio reasons. So let's keep it rolling on to Sunday. And we've got United and 36ers.
No Jack White. Even though Melbourne's at home, I'm going to go Adelaide. I think it's going to be a hard matchup to find who's going to pick up Montrezl Harrell. That would have been a great matchup, him and Jack White. But, I'll go Adelaide.
All right. Give me United. Well, I'll take United to get through this one, Vickman's boys. And final game, Brizzy at home hosting the Wildcats. I'm going to go with, give me the Bullets. Give me the Bullets in this one. Hopefully the transmission doesn't, get knocked out in the truck this time. But and even though Perth is going to be a tough ask on home court, give me them, and I'm pretty confident you're taking the Wildcats here.
Nah, mate. Nah, I'm with you, baby. I'm going Bullets. I've got to make the trip from.
Hopefully that pick doesn't, come back to bite us in the backside, so we've both gone with it.
Yeah, Perth got to make that big trip, play Friday, travel Saturday, or whenever they travel, and then they've got to play Sunday. So I'm backing the Bullets to take out a jet-lagged Perth.
Okay, all right. Bullets have a similar trip back from Tasmania, but they'll be sleeping in their own beds. So, sleeping in your own bed bump, let's go with. So that's going to wrap us up there. Let's jump into a little bit of local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem.
All right, Mac. Now, you had the chance to do the WNBL Panini from 22-23. You swerved. You had NBL Tops 23-24. You swerved. And you've gone with a pack from this fresh box, which still sealed from local card shop of Woolloongabba. Let's crack her open. 2022-2023 Chronicles. And we're looking for, what's the class here? Some Keegan Murrays, some Jalen Williams, some Paolo Benchero, some Benedict Mathurans. Let's see if we get any of those. They are rookie heavy, so we'll see how we do. Either way, mate, I'm sure the Crackem King is going to reach out and tell you either how well or the opposite you did. So no pressure. Quickly, a number between 1 and 7, mate. 1 and 7.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, and lucky number 4. Let's see how we go. All right, 7 cards. 2022-2023 Chronicles. Completely sealed pack. Let's do this. All right. Okay. You need 4 for a pass, mate. 4. 4 for a pass. Let's do this.
Oh, God. There we go.
Those are noises of confidence, ladies and gentlemen. All right, first card. The Dallas Mavericks coming on strong down the stretch. Somebody scored at least 20 points 7 times in the final 15 contests of the 2022-2023 season, wrapping up the season with an outstanding effort against the Spurs at American Airlines Center. The rookie registered 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on April 9, number 3 for the Dallas Mavericks.
What year was it? Sorry,
This is the 2022-2023 pack.
Yeah,
good times.
I think Jalen Brunson, maybe.
No, Jaden Hardy. There was a J in there.
What?
But no, a little bit early for Mr. Brunson's rookie. A little bit late, sorry, for Mr. Brunson's rookie season. Okay, OKC Thunder time. Here we go. Card number 2 is part of local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem. Part of the exciting rebuild in OKC. Somebody flashed his promising skill set during a hot streak from March 3rd to 12th of 2023. Both the teenager and the team were in a groove as the forward averaged 10.7 points and 5 rebounds, while the Thunder won 5 of those 6 games. Number 13 for OKC, rookie card.
Is it one of the Williams?
It is not one of the Williams.
Well, lucky I didn't guess him.
Still a chance, although I feel like that was a massive question.
So he's a teenager in his rookie season.
Often the case nowadays.
Yeah. Wouldn't be Chet, would it? You said forward.
It is not Chet. It is Usman. Dang.
Nah, wouldn't have got it.
All right,
this is a good start.
Move on. Sacramento Kings. Not a rookie card here, mate. For card number 3 of local card shop of Woolloongabba Crackem. Somebody kicked it up a notch when it came time to close out games in the 2022-2023 season. The gritty guards scored at least 10 points in the fourth quarter, 26 times, most in the league. De'Aaron Fox it is. Let's pop that one in the win column. Number 5 for the Kings. Oh, he's celebrating
the nudie run.
He is celebrating early. All righty. Let's keep it moving here with card number 4. San Antonio Spurs card. Don't believe he's still there. In addition to shining on defense, someone also showed his swishy side in 2022-2023, and he made history in the process on Jan 28. The forward knocked down 3 threes and netted 30 points against the Suns, becoming the first rookie to reach both those marks in a game for the Spurs. Excuse me, Yep, number 10 for the San Antonio Spurs.
He's not there anymore, you said? You think?
I may have sold you up the wrong river with that little remark. Who you got? I'll give you a free swing.
I got 2 I'm thinking. If one's not there, I'd go this way. If it was still there, I'll go, I think it's Jan Vasil.
No, what was the other one?
Is it Jacob Poeltl?
It's not Yuck Bertel. Sochin. Jeremy Sochin.
He's still there.
Yeah, like I said, I sold you up the river on that one. That's that element of it is on me, but you also didn't have him in either of your lists, so that part is.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't help me.
Here we've got 3 cards left. 3 cards.
Oh, gotta get hot.
Lockdown gets. Lockdown gets. They really are. Okay. I'm going to read the information I have on the back of this card, and it is not much, but it should still be enough. Card number 190, New Orleans, power forward. Somebody was born 7th of the 6th, 2000, and college was Duke.
Zion Williams.
That's all you needed. There's the big fella there, and unfortunately, just the other day, injured again. Injured again.
Hemi or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, poor big. Just cannot get even when he's like trying and coming back, like, people won't get on his side, about his size and everything, and then just can't stay healthy.
How close were they to win? They were going to win that series. Well, they felt like they were going to win that series, that play-in, series game at the end of the finals last year in the NBA. But then he got injured and just dismantled. The team just sort of can't go without him, eh?
Well, they're built around him. And he's just not there enough, sadly. But, yeah, which is a shame because he's incredibly dominant when he can stay on the court. But he can't stay on the court. So, but at least, like, it's all injury stuff that's keeping him off the court. So, it's not ticker or other stuff,
Yeah.
And the guy likes his tucker. I'm not gonna knock a bloke for that. Look at me. That would be the definition of throwing rocks in glass houses. It's just not gonna be my game, mate. Anyway, tricky card number 6. I'm not gonna lie to you. Number 7. It is an absolute dreamboat of a card. It's exactly the card you want to finish on. This one, this is not the card you wanted as number 6, but let's get after it anyway.
Is it a rookie?
It is a rookie.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. All right. Lay it on me.
That was not a strong performance your voice just put in there. Oh, okay. Okay, let's do this. Stepping into his first shot as a pro, somebody swished a 3-pointer from the right wing in the second quarter against the Knicks on opening night in 2022-2023 for the Memphis Grizzlies. Every bucket was a big in that tight contest as the Grizzlies won in overtime. The rookie helped Memphis go 7-3 in the first 10 games that he knocked down at least one tray. Number 3 for the Memphis Grizzlies. It is a sigh of knowing. There's a desperate eye roll.
Yeah.
Forward.
There's only one. Yeah. That's,
hit me.
That's really thrown me off a bit more, but let's draw on blank.
Go on, hit me with something. You got this.
I was gonna say Desmond Bain before you said forward, and probably wouldn't have been the right year either.
Yep. Jake.
You got nothing.
Jake, I'll give you the first name.
Laravia.
I'm going to put that in the yellow column. And let's get after this last card. It's a rookies and stars card. And luckily for you, it's a star, not a rookie. Let's do this thing. Card number 7. Redemption card. Lucky for you, the last card's always worth 2 points. No, just kidding.
Hey.
Last card's always worth half points. With effortless buckets galore, somebody often makes it look easy. Other times he makes it look tough and yet still scores. The forward attempts off-balance shots through heavy traffic that look nearly impossible to make good on. The All-Star finds a way and continues to produce his wow-worthy offense for the Boston Celtics. Who have you got?
Oh, wow. What? They've got 2 really good forwards. Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum, you went with your tum-tum, your Tatum. And there he is, number 0. Number 0 on the roster, certainly not number 0 for the roster, that's for sure. A huge piece for the Celtics as they look to run it back this season. And look, things are looking rather good as a Celtics fan. I'm sure you're feeling real strong about them resting your boy over there in 76ers land.
Oh yeah, just nothing but positivity at the moment for the Phillies. Yeah. So it's a rough start, but long season, so we'll see.
Hey, just got to trust that 30, 40, 50-year process. Whatever they sold you on, it's like the 17th go-round for that thing, yeah? So,
yeah,
hey, you trusted it, and it got you to conference final that you lost heartbreakingly.
I was going to say that was a pretty close loss. Old Kawhi Leonard hitting that ridiculous shot. But, hey, if that's the best we did, mate, then it's the best we did.
Yeah.
We'll live off the finals series that Allen Iverson got us to, and then we got smoked by the Lakers. So,
Yeah, good times though. Good times, right? Good times.
We can't all be Celtics fans who just hang banners for fun and have the most all-time wins and championships. So it must be nice now.
Especially Lakers fans. Also, to be fair, it was what was it in the end? 16 years between. Between. So it hasn't exactly been rosy. I mean, we found a way to fall in love with the Kelly Olynyk years as Celtic fans. So, there's been some rough stuff along the way. I wasn't all in on Kelly Olynyk, but you find a way to love these kind of guys. But couldn't go there with Daniel Tice. Just no. I am not trusting the process that much. I am not sorry. Nor could I do it with Enos Freedom or Cantor, whichever one you want to go with. Couldn't.
Or Parko Hall.
That one's a little different. That one is a little different.
Felt like it could have worked, hey.
Well, look here. There's his rookie card right there, mate. PSA 10, absolute banger. There's that's a little bit different. I wanted to fall in love with that one. When they're not quite enough and you know that, but you root for him anyway, yeah. Daniel Tice, stop shooting the ball, mate. Like, pass that thing. Make him or pass that thing. Like one of the two.
Yeah.
But anywho. All right, mate, that is going to wrap up another show. Thanks again for jumping on board. But speaking of jumping on board, thank you again to our the official beer of Ball Don't Lie Australia, and that's the official beer company brewed down on the Gold Coast. It's a heck of a drop. Get around it. It's amazing. It's the official beer of basketball, and heck, it's the official beer of everything good. Make sure you do drink responsibly, and we'll get you that taste tester gig just as soon as we can, Macca. I promise.
Winning.
But until you're listening to us again, please do make sure you jump on the socials, give us those likes, follows, shares. If you're listening on a podcast service that allows 5-star reviews, please do go and do that. That stuff really does help. That will get us continuous chugging along on our mission to be all around the world, everywhere. But look, until you're listening to us again, just remember that ball don't lie.
It never does.